Hello, everyone. I'm Leslie Godet, Mindset and Emotional Awareness Coach for women. I work with highly motivated women, female entrepreneurs who have strong CEO skills but need more foundational pieces, meaning more self care pieces are incorporated into their business to support their emotional and physical well being. Now, part of working with my clients is teaching them how to fully love themselves so that they can create deeper bonds with those that they love through developing powerful mindset skills, strengthening their self awareness muscle around their emotional trigger moments, and learning that loving themselves without judgment or criticism will help them teach others how to love them and teach them how to love others as they want to be loved. Now, when we work together, we also talk about the three things that I want to talk to you about today, which are number one, you are the key. Number two, timing is everything. And number three, your why must be powerful. So let's get into it, shall we? So, what do I mean by you are the key? So, most people have a vision for life. They know that they want to do something, whether that's a big goal, whether it's a small goal, whether it's just like a side hustle, whether it's just like maybe even you want to live in a different country doing what you do, but you want to live in a different country. And it's not necessarily being a digital nomad like myself, but actually transitioning from one country to another and immersing yourself in that culture and living a different lifestyle, but still doing what you love. And how do you, one of the things that I think is really key here is knowing that you are the key to actually that successful transition. And that starts with knowing who you are. It's one of the foundational pieces that I work with my clients around is getting to know who you are. I think a lot of the time we look at our past as, well, we've been there, done that. We don't realize that that shapes us into being who we are today. So we go through that time, like walk through time, I should say, going back and discovering who the person that you are, how you grew up, how you were influenced, who influenced you, who you lived with, all of those things, where you grew up, if you grew up in where you had brothers and sisters, that type of thing. Allows you to learn who you are, because that's going to help shape who you wish to become, who you want to be, and who you wish to become, and learning how to do that. Now, one of the things is, as I said, it sounds simple that you are the key to whether you succeed or whether you don't. Really, it is up to you to decide. So here's like some questions around, like, do I want this? So meaning, when you know who you are, it allows you to then realize, okay, what do I want for my life? Because a lot of the time we can look back, look around and say, we don't want this. I don't want this because I don't want that because, but it's really hard a lot of the time to dial it into what you do want. So questions like, do I want this, right? Do I need this? Am I passionate about it? And most importantly, why? Why am I passionate about it? Why do I want to do this? Why do I need this? It all comes back to knowing who you are, because when you have that clarity around the person that you are, the person who you're being, and the person who you want to become, it allows you to show up in your life daily, doing the things daily that actually lend to it, that are in alignment with that. Now, the second piece is timing, right? I said timing is everything. It really, truly is. And I believe this because, well, there is science around it, but the reason why I say timing is everything, one of the things that I have adopted as part of my model, and it's one that I really, encourage my clients to adopt, is knowing that even though you have goals in life that you want for your life, the things that you want to do, you have big aspirations, sometimes it doesn't all happen exactly as planned, meaning you might have set a goal, like, now we are almost at the end of 2022, and you might have set a huge goal this time last year, saying by this time next year, I'm going to be X, Y, and Z, or I'm going to have X, Y, and Z, right? And maybe you haven't achieved that fully, or maybe, well, we won't even get into the maybe you didn't start, but maybe you haven't achieved that goal fully. And part of that is, over the past 12 months, you've been like realizing, and I'm talking about the 12 months from this time last year, you've been like looking at, different pathways to get you to your goal, and you may have pivoted. And in that pivoting, it might have stretched out your goal a little bit. It might have stretched out the timing a little bit. One of the things I like to adopt as my mantra is that timing is way more important than how long it takes for you to achieve a goal. And I truly believe that because as I have said, sometimes when you are in the doing of something and you allow yourself to be open to change, because change can happen and it's inevitable most of the time. And when you allow yourself to be open to that and you're allowing yourself to receive it, you can then find those greater or better things reveal themselves to you. You might pivot and instead of doing, the next step in your goal, something better comes along and you do that. But then you come back to your next flow of what you have set for this life goal that you're trying to set. And you realize it's not really lining up the way you had originally planned it out. And that's okay, because part of that is realizing that you're growing and you're stretching, you're expanding, and you're allowing yourself to actually do this or better, right? So again, knowing that number one, you are the key, and that is knowing who you are so that you show up as that person every single day, which will help you to achieve your goals. And then number two, knowing that timing is everything, and really realizing and recognizing that sometimes, it might take a little bit longer, it might take shorter amount of time, and it might take a longer amount of time for you to achieve a goal. Now, the second part of the timing is everything is that there is scientific evidence around that. If you know a gentleman by the name of Daniel Pink, he wrote a book called When, the Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing. And it's really a fascinating read. I haven't gotten through the entire book yet, but one of the things he was talking about was they did studies around how people work and when their energy levels are, right? And one of the experiments during one of the things that he talks about in the book was what they brought it back to this man from France. His name was Jean-Jacques Dortu de Marin. He was an astronomer, and he was he was at his desk one night, and he noticed that as twilight approached, one of the plants on his desk, well, the leaves were closed, right? But earlier in that day, he noticed that the leaves were open. So he conducted an experiment. He wanted to see, well, what if there is actually no prompting, meaning the plant doesn't notice that it's dark. The plant doesn't notice that there's sunlight. So he put the plant inside a cabinet, and he left it there, and he did an experiment. And the next morning, lo and behold, when he opened the cabinet, he found that the plant the leaves had opened up. So it was like timing, right? Well, there is timing, and is everything. So the other thing that I want to talk about timing, as far as when it comes to this, in the book, Daniel talks about how the science behind energy, right? So for me, as an example, I'm more of an early riser. I get up at 5 every morning. I get certain things done, my me time, but then I get some work-related admin things done. Then I do some learning. I also, do client-related tasks. And then I also then move on to the next part of my day, which is working and supporting a team of lawyers and paralegals. Now, the way he describes it is that you find out who you are, like how you are energy level, meaning in the morning, you might be like, if you are the type of person that you have the most energy in the morning, that's when you you should use that time for your head down jobs, like the head down admin, learning, whatever those things are that need your full attention, need your full concentration. You would do them when you have the most energy. Then he talks about like in the early afternoon, mid to early afternoon, I should say, like noon to mid afternoon is usually like a lull. So for me, I usually do just like really less, tasking admin tasks, because it doesn't take a lot of brain power. It goes on around 4 o'clock and onward. That's when I find that I come back and I have that push, that second wind, if you will. So I really loved that he talks about that. It's really kind of fascinating to know that there are people who work that way. Now, on the flip side, there's people who are night owls, right? So I have a friend, he's a coach. He's exactly the opposite to me. He can stay up late hours. He calls himself the midnight coach because he has a lot of clients who will call him in the wee hours of the morning, and he will stay up until 6 a.m. and then he will go to bed and for like, from say 6 until noon or 1, and then he'll get back up and he'll have his routine start mid-afternoon. So it really does lend to your energy levels. You kind of know who you are. I would definitely recommend the book. So it's called When: The Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing by Daniel H. Pink. It is a New York Times bestseller, so check it out. So as I was saying, timing is everything, right? So then the last part of it is recognizing that your why has to be really powerful, meaning when you know who you are, again, you are full clarity on who you are, what you want for your life, how you want it to look, and you understand that sometimes it won't always like pan out exactly the way you want in the timeline that you put, and it's okay to do that and be okay to embrace that. When you have a powerful why, meaning what you're doing and the why behind it, meaning it's not just like some people say I want financial freedom, and they want it because they want to be able to spend more time with their families. That's great, but your why has to be so powerful that it relates just to you. Meaning, as an example, as when I was first starting out, I wanted to have that financial freedom so that I was in control of my finances, and that my bank account, meaning like nobody else, was in control of that. So I could say, well, so I'm sorry, my internet cut out for a second, but yes, timing is everything, right? So remember, you are key, timing is everything, and your why must be powerful enough that you will continue to show up every single day in the doing so that you can live the life that you love. Because you know what? It's time for you to give yourself permission to live a life that you love living. My name is Leslie Gadet, and I am a mindset and emotional awareness coach for highly motivated female entrepreneurs who have strong CEO skills but need more self-care incorporated into their business to support their emotional and physical well-being. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Remember to navigate your day with an attitude of gratitude, because with the right attitude, it'll put the right mindset for when life throws her curveballs, just like one was thrown at me, or puts up those roadblocks in your way. You'll be in a better frame of mind to manage those emotional trigger moments. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.